Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Ian Abel from the Ian Abel Band. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Randy?
You got me feeling existential when I see you walking down the hall. Exotic potential, who's suffering from a broken heart. Lost in the mirror, said she doesn't need another man. But I see how she's dancing, glancing back and forth. I'm gonna make you understand.
I wanted to start out by digging into some of your history. What got you into music, and what age did you start playing guitar?
Okay. I started playing, I guess it would have been like 15, I think, is when the movie School of Rock came out. and it's not like I heard, the Stairway to Heaven solo or the Comfortably Numb solo. No, I saw a children's movie starring Jack Black, and I was like, that looks awesome. I'd listened to a lot of rap for some reason back then. Not that I dislike rap, but not anything I would consider good nowadays. So I um I really didn't have like a rock background at all. Um so I was like at 15 years old was a complete just mind blowing. I started digging into everything. As obviously when you first get into it, you're like Guns N' Roses becomes like everyone's favorite. And luckily, I was diversified enough. My parents bought me like an Otis Redding CD, greatest hits CD, and so I was lucky there that it wasn't just. I didn't get to like the well, I guess that was prime butt rock era. so, so uh, I wasn't massive into it, but people and talking about butt rock, people give Nickelback I think too hard of a shakedown, but that's a whole other topic. No, the movie School of Rock, yeah, that essentially got me into it, and then got a guitar and I started playing, and it was terrible for like 6 months before I played like a chord. And so, um, and then I noticed around the 2 year mark, because I would just spend all day, every day, for the better or worse of my grades. I would just spend all day playing guitar, and about 2 years into it, something like clicked, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I should maybe like make an actual go at this. I'm getting pretty good." Looking back now, I was like, "Stupid teenager, you were good," but
So you were pretty much self-taught. You didn't take any lessons or anything?
I started off luckily taking lessons. In hindsight, looking back, I think the guy was probably a little bit of a stoner. And I don't think he was quite great at lessons per se. In the grand scheme of things, he was just really chill all the time. And I would, I like rock and roll. Can we learn some stuff? And he was like a metal. He had a Ibanez. He was like a metal guy, and he's like, okay, and he like made me learn a Green Day song, and I was like, no, 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 like I like teach me like some Metallica and stuff. But so I would obviously taught myself a lot of rock and roll, and then I got into jazz, and I found a great instructor who ended up going and playing for the Army's first band. He was in their big band, and just an incredible guitar player named Jonathan Epley. And I mean, still blown away every time I see him play something. I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that. His fingers move so fast. I have no clue. But I count those lessons personally more. They had more of an impact on me than like the beginning lessons. The beginning ones were good for technique and this and that, but as far as like really getting into learning how to play, when I teach lessons now, I do it different than the guy who first started teaching me, because you're a teenager who wants to shred as eventually. You want to be a rock god, you want to be Mike McCready or Slash or David Gilmour, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's over here, he's like, I was playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. I'm like, dude, I'm 16. Like, I'm out here chasing chicks. I'm not gonna get those chicks with Mary Had a Little Lamb, all right? Like, I can't play like Stevie Ray Vaughan yet. Still can't. This dude is sending me down the wrong path on that one. But yeah, no. So it was lessons. Yeah, lessons. A lot of self-taught lessons. But I still take lessons till today, because I take from a guy named Bart Walker, who is an incredible he plays for Hank Williams, and so Hank Jr. technically. And so I was talking to him because I love bluegrass, but I've never. It's totally different style. The picking, like if I got, like it's all this, just up and down, and I'm used to sweep picking and things like that. And he was like, no, dude, you're just a robot. And so I'm learning that right now, because I'm always trying to learn and be better. And if there's somebody around you that is a master at something, then might as well try to get in there and try to dig and figure out what it is. And maybe find out you're not meant to play bluegrass, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm along for the ride.
Now, how did you get into forming this band? Were you playing like solo before, and then you was like, I want to get a band together?
So so starting like high school, I couldn't really sing, which is why anyone asks me, I'm like, anyone can learn to sing if you just spend years at it and practice. There was a voice there, but it was, not a lot of control, things like that. It's always been pretty gravelly. I guess it's probably just living in the South, there's tobacco everywhere. No, but I went to college, and I kept trying to like get better as a singer, and mainly because I just wanted to play lead guitar. I wanted to be David Gilmour. I wanted to be Slash, and lead singers are just like kind of a pain in the butt and to be around, and how lead singers can be. And I vowed that day, I said, I will never be that way. I will become the lead singer. I write these songs anyways. I'll just learn to sing them myself. I can depend on myself. And I moved to LA, lived there for 7 years, and I was in another band that I started where I was doing dual singing with the girl, and it didn't pan out, unfortunately. Like, we played one Saturday night at the Viper Room, and the guy came up, the booker, and we threw this awesome party at this hotel right behind there, where I had to tip the bouncer or the security guards to let us stay because they were getting so many noise complaints. I'm talking with too many people packed in this thing. It was incredible. Party at the London, right behind the old Viper Room. But we played this Saturday show, and the booker comes up afterwards, and he was like, you guys are awesome. He was like, we're going to put you on the Saturday rotation. And I was like, this is great. And then he gets fired. And the new booker was based out of Vegas, and it was all pay to play. And I was like, this is not great. And there's falling out with that whole thing. And so afterwards, I started going at it myself. And it was kind of a weird transitional period where I didn't really know. I mean, especially being in Los Angeles, I really didn't know what the heck was going on, period, most of the time. And so I met my drummer, Kenny Schwartz, and luckily Kenny's like a very, like, he is a foundation, both on the drums, his instrument, and as a person. And so luckily he was like, hey, you got some good songs here, because he wanted to play with my bass player, Corey, who moved back to Houston, part of the whole falling out thing. Not that we had a falling out, but he got a job in Houston and went back and played there and moved. And Kenny originally wanted to play with him, and I was like, hey, okay, well, Ian, you got some good songs. I barely knew him, and he was like, hey, you seem like an all right guy, kind of nuts, weird, twangy Southern accent. Kenny's this New York dude from New York, this Jewish guy from New York, like jazz cat musician. Went to the new school, and here I am, this hillbilly and cowboy, snakeskin cowboy boots, and a big old cowboy hat, and like out there playing like outlaw country rock and roll. He was like, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I like these songs. There's some hooks. And we got linked up with my friend Wes Trey, who's from Louisville and happened to go to the same high school as me. We just ran into each other essentially in LA. And then looking for bassists, we found this dude named Karthik, who's from there, who is incredible. He's like better at bass than I am guitar, which is great. Let's let him do all the work. But so that's the band kind of came together by a bunch of chance happenings, a bunch of them. But I'm so lucky they did, because I always believe in, whether someone believes in like a higher power or the universe or something. I'm a big proponent of what is going to be. Got to work at it, of course, but that's typically what I believe in. So I think Kenny like came in my life at the right time, and we sat down, made some demos, and here we are. Here we are. He took quite the gamble on some dude he didn't know. I drove a truck, an F-150 in L.A. It's the dumbest thing ever. For 7 years, cruising around. That's a nice truck, don't get me wrong, but who does? I couldn't park anywhere. I was like, I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. Never, dude. I don't know.
So you guys are based out of what city?
Okay, we were LA, pandemic. Everyone, Kenny's married to this lovely lady named Rachel. He's been married to her for a long time. She has like a giant, her family is from Texas, has a massive estate. And so Kenny's, of all things, Kenny now, the New Yorker, is now living in Texas on this massive ranch. He drives a truck. Everybody's got a truck now. I'm like, what an influence I've had on him. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Kenny, if you're listening. But he's he's down there, but he just built a brand new studio right outside Austin. Beautiful. He's now buying all the gear. It's like so nice. And Karthik's still in LA. And I was just talking to Karthik and Kenny earlier, because we were trying to plan to do a show in 2023 in LA around the WrestleMania time, because WrestleMania is going to be in April in LA, and I have a big wrestling fan base. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll call up the Viper Room. They were always nice to us. And then my buddy Karthik was like, it's gone. I said, oh, okay, maybe I won't. I'll call somewhere else. And like the Whiskey, we played the Whiskey or the Troubadour, or I don't know, like busk on the street at this point. Who cares? So I'm in Louisville. The long story short, I'm in Louisville right now. I go back and forth between Nashville, because I also play lead guitar for an older country artist named T. Graham Brown, and so I'll go on the road with him, and then I'll be in Louisville. And I know you're going to ask like an upcoming question, so I'll save that second part I was about to say.
Could you name a few of your musical influences?
Oh, could I? Okay. Yeah. I guess number one somehow is going to be Jack Black. So, well, I mean, love Tenacious D, don't get me wrong, but it's just my favorite band, which surprises most people, is David Gilmour. But if you listen to the way that I play guitar, and I'm not saying that I'm David Gilmour, but he plays with a lot of feedback. It's a lot of bends. There's a lot of emotion. And I try to emulate that, as every guitarist should, because I think Gilmour is the best. I also used to say that, like, if Leonard Skinner, before the crash, got into like a bar fight with Metallica, or at like a Chris Stapleton concert, something like that, in that realm of things. Metallica might be a little too heavy, but maybe like Pearl Jam. Maybe if they got in a fight with Pearl Jam, and like Lars was at the bar or something. He doesn't seem like type to get involved. But yeah, maybe like a Pearl Jam or Pearl Jam and Skinner had gotten into a fist fight with at a Chris Stapleton show, something like that, maybe.
You released Eyes on You October 23rd, 2022, and you were just talking about like that Pink Floyd. I noticed like there is a kind of sound to that in this song during the chorus when you say I got my eyes on you, and there's that guitar lead. It got some kind of like delay effect on it. I just wondered how you came up with that, and if you could tell me a little bit about the story of this song.
Okay, so I met up with Wes, my co-writer. We wrote this together, and just great friend, buddy. We were hanging out in the studio here in Louisville at La La Land, just Friday night, I guess. He recorded like 9 songs and a singer-songwriter tunes in the night. I was like, Wes, this is so ambitious. Okay. But we met up in LA. Wow, I should not. Who says LA like that? I met up in Los Angeles, met up in LA with him. He was living out of his house in Inglewood with his now wife. And he had a little studio in the back, and I went down there to write a song called What You Deserve, which is going to come out next year. But we worked on that, and then he was like showing me. Wes is the type of dude who's like always tapped into the ether. He is always ready to go and creative, no matter what. Like, and he has maybe everything he comes up with. He has like 9 versions of it, and they're all different. He just was scrolling his iTunes, and he like wrote something, and he accidentally played it. Wasn't trying to show me it, and it was just the hook. It was like it's eyes on you, and there was kind of the idea for the do 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 do, and I was like, what is that? And he showed me, and I was like, dude, we got to write this right now. And so we did. We sat there and we outlined it. I started coming up, pulled up lyrics that I had, and we wrote it real quick, and we demoed it real quick too, because he was like, okay, he gave me the guitar. He's like, all right, it's essentially it's just following the chords. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. So we just threw that bad boy up 2 octaves, and the rest is history. When we recorded the actual song with John Graber in his lovely studio, Justin Stanley is this like renowned Australian producer. They all have this big, nice studio together, and Justin Stanley, he didn't know that he lent us a guitar that Eric Clapton gave him. He didn't know that. He does now. But we were using that. But he did earlier in the day mention he had a Klon pedal, and I was like, a real one? I was like, those go for like $1,000 or maybe more. And he was like, oh yeah, it's terrible Australian accent. And he's like, here, borrow it. And so then when he left, we snuck in and borrowed his SG like Clapton gave him and played it. The thing sings. And so, yeah, Justin, if you hear this, thank you so much. You contributed so much, but all the engineering, the delays and stuff, that's all. I'm pretty sure we did a lot. We ran through a tape. We had an authentic tape delay too. John's got some dope gear. He's got some great gear. So it's, that's how that song came to be. It came to be real quick as far as like Wes and I got the format down, then Kenny threw drums on it and it got heavier. Like we made it a little heavier and more rocking, and it is what it is today, a rocking tune.
Glancing back and forth, I'm gonna make you understand. I got my eyes on you. Keep them wide open till you shut them closed. I've got my eyes on you. I've got my eyes on you. Keep them wide open till you shut them closed. Got my eyes on you.
What do you have planned for 2023?
2023. Okay, so personally, the first weeks of January, I'm taking a trip to Brazil, so that'll be fun. And I'm gonna talk to a couple places. I think I'm gonna try to play like an acoustic show down there. I speak very minimal Portuguese, so that should be fun. To have the translator on the whole time. Hello, and so maybe I'll hire a translator. God, I hope they don't say anything wrong. get beat up in Brazil. What happened? I don't know, translator, dude. And then we got 4 songs coming down the pipe. Probably gonna drop the first one in February, and then I guess every 6 to 8 weeks after that. I think that's what they say the algorithm is now. I have no idea. I'm clearly not an algorithm guy. So we'll do that. 4 songs off the bat. Going to record a bunch more at Kenny's studio once it's fully up and done. Going to go down to Austin and do that. Play a show in Austin after that. And then hopefully the big thing I'm trying to get a show somewhere in LA, call around and get one for WrestleMania, because I licensed 2 songs to the AEW, but they were with Cody Rhodes, who's now at WWE, and WrestleMania is taking place in LA, and the majority, I'd say the vast majority of my fan base are all wrestling fans. Like, so a lot of people fly in for WrestleMania from all around the world, and if it'd be cool to be able that Friday night before play like Whiskey A Go Go or somewhere, and a lot of them, who've never been able to have the opportunity to see us play can come and check it out and get their faces melted off.
Do you have a date for the release of your album?
We'll bring it all out on probably when the fourth song, the next of the 4 drops. We'll compile everything and got the artwork done already. And I don't know, so that'd be May, I guess, maybe around May, I suppose, if that's the timeline works out, every 6 weeks, something like that, April or May, something like that. I should do it for the LA show. If I get an LA show, I'll just do it then. That's that's the smart money. There we go.
Have it as a release party. Yeah.
Come on, Randy, brainstorming, dude. Yeah, it's a release party. Come on, Randy. There we go. You're on the payroll, Randy. Doesn't pay a lot yet, but one day.
How can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
All of it. Ian Abel Band, ABEL, not ABLE. That would be so corny. Ian Abel Band on everything: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can tag people on YouTube now. We're on there. If anything, I'm on Be Real as well. I don't understand how that app works, but I was at the lake and we had a bunch this summer. A bunch of boats were tied off, and like some teenager was like, "Oh, I gotta take a Be Real," and like all these other teenagers ran over, and I was like, "Is that a thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, everyone's on it." And I was like, "God, dude, I'm officially getting that age where I don't know things. It's real. I'm officially getting close to the get off my lawn era of my life." But wait, whatever. I'm on the most important stuff. I'm trying, at least. I'm trying.
Hey, that's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We got merch out. 2 shirts. They both say Outlaw technically, because we're kind of like an outlaw rock and roll group. They're both dope. The designs were by Wes Henry, who's a big, highly sought after digital artist. Had a bunch of like NFTs and stuff. That's beyond me. But the artwork's cool. The shirts are great. They're made great and they ship fast. Check it out and follow us, and we'll follow back and keep on rocking in the free world.
So duck tail, love dazed and confused. I'm hoping one day she'll be mine.